Born in 1412 in the small village of Domrémy, France, Joan of Arc came from humble origins. The daughter of Jacques and Isabelle d'Arc, she grew up in a devout Catholic household, helping with farm work and tending to animals. Her life was simple, yet the times were anything but. France was in the throes of the 100 Years' War, a brutal conflict with England that left the country divided and demoralized. Little did anyone know that this peasant girl would rise to become one of history's most extraordinary figures, leading her nation to victory and leaving an indelible mark on the world.
At the age of 13, Joan began to experience visions and hear voices, which she believed were sent by God. These voices, which she attributed to Saints Michael, Catherine, and Margaret, urged her to take up the cause of France and help the Dauphin, Charles VII, reclaim his throne. For a young, uneducated girl to claim divine guidance was extraordinary, yet Joan's unwavering faith and conviction gave her the courage to pursue her mission. In 1429, at just 17 years old, Joan persuaded a local garrison commander to escort her to Charles VII, the uncrowned King of France. Dressed as a man to protect herself on the dangerous journey, she made her way through enemy territory. Upon meeting Charles, Joan declared that she had been sent by God to lead France to victory. Skeptical but desperate, Charles subjected her to rigorous questioning and a theological examination, which she passed. Convinced of her sincerity, Charles allowed her to join his army, a decision that would change the course of history.
Joan's first major test came at the Siege of Orléans, a pivotal battle in the 100 Years' War. The city had been under English siege for months, and its fall seemed imminent. Arriving with reinforcements, Joan's presence electrified the French troops. Clad in shining armor and carrying her banner, she inspired her soldiers with speeches and prayers, urging them to fight for their country and faith. Joan's leadership and courage were instrumental in lifting the siege. Over several days of fierce fighting, the French forces, emboldened by her vision and guidance, broke through the English lines and secured a decisive victory. The liberation of Orléans marked a turning point in the war, earning Joan the title the Maid of Orléans, and solidifying her reputation as a divinely inspired leader.
After Orléans, Joan continued her campaign, leading French forces to a series of victories that opened the way to Reims, the traditional site of French coronations. In July 1429, Charles VII was crowned king, fulfilling one of Joan's divine missions. She stood at his side during the ceremony, a symbol of hope and unity for a nation ravaged by war. For a time, it seemed as though Joan's mission had succeeded, but her journey was far from over. Despite her victories, Joan's influence began to wane as political factions within the French court grew wary of her power and popularity. Her calls for further military action against the English were met with hesitation, leaving her vulnerable to betrayal and capture.
In May 1430, Joan was captured by Burgundian forces, allies of the English, during a skirmish near Compiègne. She was sold to the English and taken to Rouen, where she faced a trial orchestrated by a pro-English church court. Accused of heresy, witchcraft, and dressing as a man, Joan was subjected to a grueling and unjust legal process. Despite her youth and lack of formal education, she defended herself with remarkable intelligence and composure, asserting that her voices were sent by God and that her actions were righteous. The trial was a foregone conclusion. On May 30, 1431, Joan was convicted and sentenced to death. She was burned at the stake in the marketplace of Rouen, her final words a prayer, "Jesus, Jesus." She was just 19 years old. Her execution shocked many, and her courage in the face of death solidified her status as a martyr and a symbol of resistance against oppression.
25 years after her death, a retrial ordered by Pope Calixtus III overturned Joan's conviction, declaring her innocent and a victim of political and religious persecution. Centuries later, in 1920, she was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church, recognizing her extraordinary faith and sacrifice. Today, Joan of Arc is celebrated as a national heroine of France, a symbol of courage and a beacon of hope for those who fight against injustice. Her story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film, and her legacy transcends borders and religions. Joan's life serves as a reminder of the power of conviction and the extraordinary impact one individual can have on history.
Joan of Arc's journey, from a peasant girl in Domrémy to a warrior, martyr, and saint, is a tale of faith, courage, and the pursuit of justice. Her actions not only changed the course of the 100 Years' War, but also left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire people around the world. As a leader, a symbol, and a saint, Joan remains one of history's most remarkable figures, a testament to the enduring power of belief and bravery,